Hello, everybody. I'm here with Sasha Grant, the Senior Program Manager of Inclusive Marketing and Community Engagement at Delta Vacations. Sasha, thank you so much for taking the time to join me today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so happy to be here.
So I want to jump right into it. And something I know that's really important with Delta Vacations is the sense of belonging. I know internally that's something that's discussed a lot, and it's important. A lot of my readers, a lot of my audience are business owners themselves, and I'm curious for those who are running a business, what does sense of belonging really mean?
So sense of belonging really means that a person has a sense of acceptance, security, and support within a certain group. And so when someone doesn't feel a sense of belonging, they're impacted both personally and professionally. This is because we all have an innate, deep need to be understood and celebrated. So for those running a business, a sense of belonging really means that you are actively promoting and practicing inclusion within your organization.
Why is it so important to have this in your mind when you are running a business or heading a team or running an agency? Why I know a lot of business owners have so many things to worry about, and why is this an important component of that as well?
Yeah, a stronger sense of belonging allows us to feel as if we're a part of something larger than ourselves. So imagine how that impacts work. If you feel as though you're part of a team, you can then align with that team's goals and the mission. And so wanting to feel a sense of belonging, really is part of that human condition. And so um, us working together to make sure that everyone on the team feels included would really help the work both personally and professionally.
So I want to ask you about the do's, but first I want to ask you a little bit about the don'ts. I know we're not on a hour long interview here, but
Yeah.
are there common mistakes you've seen made that might fracture a team, or are there common things that maybe business owners should try to avoid or make note of in order to sort of work towards a better sense of belonging for them and for their employees?
Yeah. So strong DEI framework begins internally. No matter what organization you're with, if your people don't uh, believe what it is that you are trying to do, then it'll all fall apart. So DEI is a journey, not a destination. So things will take time, to come to fruition, but it's really important for business owners to make sure that their words and their work don't get too far apart. Um, People need to understand what the goal is. You need to set those goals and you need to make sure that you're delivering on your promises.
Yeah, so, Sasha, what about the dues? I know a lot of agency owners are incredibly busy, but I know that building a team and fostering the sense of belonging amongst a team is incredibly important. Are there any specific things or any small steps or big steps even that they can do that they can hit the ground running with after this conversation in order to move farther into the sense of belonging?
The most important thing to remember is that representation matters, not only with your clientele, but with your team itself. When people feel seen, they tend to perform better and they tend to have a better sense of belonging. And so, really, one of the easiest things I think to do is to make sure that you are having a diverse team and then also celebrating the diversity of your people.
And that diversity can be amongst everything, like every category of different people, whether it's like sexual orientation, gender, uh, heritage,
All
things like
background.
that. All right.
Yes. Yes.
All
Just
right.
making sure that you're celebrating people from all walks of life and meeting people where they are. So, um, doing that, I think, will really help foster a greater sense of belonging no matter what environment that you're in.
So I have a specific question. I know a lot of travel advisors do want to work towards this, but I know a lot of them have made mistakes or make mistakes. I mean, I'm curious if you have any advice for people who do have the best interests in mind, but maybe aren't well educated on this and do seem to make mistakes. Like any advice on that? Is that something they should be beating themselves up over?
I don't think it's something that people should be beating themselves up over. Like I mentioned before, DE&I is a journey, not a destination, and so you will make mistakes. You will may not know how to approach a certain situation, but it's important to be vulnerable in this space and to hold yourself accountable. And so really just focusing, inwards and making sure that, you're checking your unconscious bias and things like that, to really foster that sense of belonging.
Yeah, I mean, I guess boiling it down to it's just be vulnerable, take responsibility, celebrate diversity, and I guess do your best to work towards a sense of belonging and to not worry about mistakes that may be made.
Exactly. And just, making sure that you can take the onus for whatever mistakes that you make. Again, being vulnerable is, I think, the best approach for this. And that vulnerability will help you make better relationships with anyone that you're working with. And so uh, I think that
Yeah.
answer's done now.
Um, well, so anything to share specifically with the travel advisory community? I know your work with Delta Vacations introduces you to a lot of this side of the business, and I know you probably like me understand it's a very unique sort of business model and a very unique community of travel advisors. Anything you want to share that about this specifically that can translate to the travel advisor community?
Yeah, I think fostering a sense of belonging is not only important, with our business partners and stuff, but it's important with the travel advisor community as well. This might look like fostering like a supportive and inclusive environment when it's in their office, or if they're a one-on-one operation. Maybe it's important for them to extend, an invitation to the other small businesses in their area, to really build that community. um, and it's important to be extending, inclusivity and support to their clients, since it's all relationship based, right? And so fostering that sense of belonging is not only good, business wise, but uh, personally as well.
I don't want to let you go before asking specifically about Delta and Delta Vacations. Any future projects you're working on that you want to talk about, or any other updates about Delta Vacations, whether it's these initiatives or something else that you want to share with the travel advisor audience?
Yes. Um, so I think it's important for our travel advisors to know that we are making sure that our words and our work align, where we are really starting that DE&I framework internally. And so we've actually launched an internal campaign to rally our people around creating a more inclusive environment and really fostering a greater sense of belonging. And so that's really what we've been doing, because we're an experiential brand. And so why not learn through the experiences of our people and celebrate those experiences? So really focusing internally first, and making sure that we have that strong DE&I footing before we, promote ourselves as a more inclusive brand. It really all starts internally.
And it's like just from my years in the travel industry, I know the cooperation is sort of on a different level compared to other industries. So I know this topic is going to be incredibly relevant to everyone. So Sasha, I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me about it, share some of the details about what Delta does, and give us some sort of tips to look for moving towards, like you mentioned, the sense of belonging. So thank you so much for your time, Sasha.
Thank you so much for your time as well. It's really great to be here.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye.